Lika Boswell, and I am the Vice Chairman of the Integrated Music Foundation.
My name is Asia Richardson. I am the PRO of the Integrated Music Foundation, and today I'm going to go through our Show Me the World Music Workbook, just for anyone who would like to use it as a tool in their classroom. In this book we cover a range of topics. Those are music theory, note values, duration, time signatures, the clef, pitch, the letter names of the clef, musical alphabet, lines and spaces, ledger lines, major scales, how the scales fit on the treble clef, the pan family on the tenor pan, fourths and fifths, pan history, and pan family. There's also a music test at the end. Introduction. Music is important in an individual's life in many ways. It has been proven that students involved in music education outperform students who are not, as it is the only activity which stimulates both sides of the brain simultaneously. Music education improves memory, math, and reading and social skills. This book is designed to satisfy all classifications of learners. Based on Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences, this book caters to the kinesthetic physical, oral, auditory and musical, spatial, visual, intrapersonal, solitary, interpersonal, social, logical, mathematical, and verbal linguistic learners. It is the first of its kind, and it integrates aspects of multiple subjects such as math, English, science, social studies, art, and drama. The book also incorporates the use of technology, as it invites students to use the internet to access our instructional videos. This book is geared specifically for use with the steel pan, while also touching on the pan family and one of the many aspects of our country's rich steel pan history. This promises to be an exciting and engaging text for children who enjoy fun activities while learning the fundamentals of music theory, as well as adults without prior musical experience. So, the first page introduces the book's characters, Mr. Panton and the little boy Bago. It talks about measurement and how music is measured in beats. Please, teachers, remember to allow your children to color the characters and the pictures in the book. The second page, it's still dealing in beats, and it gives visual on those beats and explanations. So the first activity deals with strong beats and weak beats. The children would draw any kind of symbol they want and put them in groups, either groups of 4, groups of 2, groups of 3, anything they want, and color the first one, which would be the strong beat. The second activity is a group activity which would ask for the teacher to play a song and have all the children march along to the beat of the song with their friends. That's basically it. After the activity, there is diagrams here showing and explaining what formal beats look like, what beats written in music look like, just for them to understand what they're doing. The next page is duration. There's a chart here, just showing note values and symbols. Duration is how long a note is. So you have a semi-brief here. The first thing is, we call that a whole note as well, and it's 4 beats. You have a minim, let's call it a half note as well as 2 beats. You have a crotchet, which is also called a quarter note, and it is 1 beat. And we have a quaver, which is 8 note, which is called an 8 note, and it's a half a note. So a semi-brief would sound like this. So you have the 4 beats there. A minim would sound like this. 2 beats there. A crotchet would sound like and a quaver would be . The activity for this lesson is for the students to go to their instrument and play, or they can sing, whichever they choose, each note shown on the chart. So they could just do what I just did, or they could do it on the pan. There's also some explanation there on the page that would help with understanding this lesson. The next page is a money pyramid. There's a dollar on top, which is 100 cents, and if that were to be divided by 2, you'd get 2 50-cent pieces. The 50-cent pieces could also be divided by 2 and you get 4 25-cent pieces. So we're on page 6. We're gonna fill out the music pyramid. So similarly with the money pyramid, we have the biggest on top, which is the semi-brief. That could be divided into two, and it would be 2 minims. The 2 minims could also be divided into two, and that would be 2 crotchets. And the crotchets could also be divided into two, and that would be 2 quavers. So we're on page 7, we're doing activity 5. The music pyramid and the chart from the previous pages would help with this activity. So you just turn back to the chart on the music pyramid and figure out your note values, add them together and figure out which note represents the number that you got, and then you just put them in the answer there. Okay, so we're on page 8 and we're continuing with the topic duration. We have pizzas on this page, and because of the fact that we have students that age 6 and under probably wouldn't understand the concept of half, we use pizzas to visually help them comprehend. So we have 4 pizzas which represent a semi-brief, we have 2 pizzas which represent a minim, we have 1 pizza which represents a crotchet, and we have the half pizza which represents the quaver. Also, don't forget to let the children color the crackers and the pizzas. We're on page 9 here. We're dealing with activity 6. We just want children to practice counting halves, so the entire exercise is half pizzas. We move on to page 10. We are now moving on to something a bit more difficult. We have the actual symbols that represent the beats here, and the children need to add them. So the music pyramid and the chart will also help with this. The children could identify these symbols on the chart of the music pyramid and know their values, add them together, and they'll get the answer. So we're on page 11 and we start on the topic time signatures. Page 11 is just an explanation of what time signatures are and what they do. But for this book, we only focusing on the top number of the time signature, which just means that we will have 4 beats in each bar. So we're on page 12, activity 7, and there's a house here that the children need to fill up the rooms by using different symbols to make up 4 beats in each room. We're on page 13, we have activity 8 here. We have a bunch of trains here, and each cart on the train must have 1 symbol in it, and the whole train must add up to 4 beats. Page 14, activity 9, is just for the children to create their own line of music. So they use the symbols that they learned, and each bar must have 4 beats in it, and they need to fill up all 4 bars, and they just vary the symbols and come up with their own thing. Page 15, we start learning what the clef is, or what a clef is. There's just an explanation on what clefs is on this page, and on page 16, next to it, there is a tutorial on how to draw them and an activity to practice drawing them. Page 17, and we start the topic pitch. This page just explains what pitch is, and this lends to the science that we're trying to bring into music as well. Something that you could try is having a ruler and putting it at the edge of the table and hitting it so that it vibrates. The longer the ruler is, the lower the vibration, the lower the pitch, because the vibrations are bigger. And the shorter the ruler is, it's higher the pitch because of the quicker vibrations. The activity there is, could you tweet like a bird? You ask this class to tweet like a bird. That makes a high pitch, and then you ask them to move like a cow, which is a low pitch. It's page 18, activity 12 is on this page, and we use the clefs, the high clef which would be the treble clef and the low clef which would be the bass clef. You ask them to put them next to what they think would make a high sound or a low sound. Page 19 is where we learn the names of the lines and spaces in the treble clef. So on this page is the explanation. So page 20 is where we start with the musical alphabet. Activity 14, we have the entire musical alphabet and we have some words that are missing letters. Letters can be used in each word more than once, and no letters outside of the musical alphabet can be used to make these words. On page 21, we have activity 15. You just need to complete the musical alphabet with the notes here. On page 22, we start separating the lines from the spaces. So this page just explains that the lines have names and the spaces have names. Alright, so on page 23 with activity 15, we have a bunch of faces. So because we had the explanation on the spaces before, we're trying to remember these spaces because space rhymes with face. So we draw some faces on some children here. And then on the next page we have activity 17, where we have a good boy eating food. So we draw the food on his plate. Good boy deserves food is how we remember the lines. Page 25, we have activity 19. This is also a practice for the lines and spaces, where the children will just need to figure out what line or space the note is on a few times. The next page is page 26, where we start the topic letter lines. So letter lines could be figured out by saying the musical alphabet with the lines and spaces. So you would have the first line, which is E, and the second, and then the first page, which would be F. So it would be E, F, and then the next line would be G. So just all the lines and spaces go up in alphabetical order and come down in alphabetical order as well. So when you're trying to figure out a letter line, you'll just be like E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, and then after that would be letter lines. So you just continue with the alphabet. We are on page 27 with activity 20. This is also practice for lines and spaces, but more so practice for letter lines. So you just continue with the alphabet going up or continue going backwards with the alphabet for the letter lines below. On the next page, we have even more practice. Page 28, exercise activity 21. Same thing as before, you just figure out the lines and spaces of the letter lines and the notes in the staff. Page 29, we start in the topic of major scales. Activity 22 here, where you sing a major scale using the solfege, which is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. This activity is to help children understand how the major scale works and have fun doing it as well. Alright guys, so we're gonna learn about major scales, right? We have to sing them. Come close. So we go it. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Alright, good job. Give yourself a cup. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Yeah! Good job! Yay! So that was a major scale, guys, and we were singing it with the solfege, right? On page 29, there's also an explanation on the notes in the C major scale, which is the most basic scale for these children to learn. On page 30, we continue with the C major scale and some more explanation there. With the C major scale, it may be difficult for some students to sing. In Trinidad, schools should have at least 2 steel pans in them. So if possible, playing the C major scale on the pan should help with that. If there's no one around to help with that, no music teacher, please seek someone outside the school or even call us to see what assistance that we could give to you. On page 31, we start trying to fit the scale on the treble clef. The C major scale starts on a ledger line which is called middle C and continues up on the treble staff to the other C. The students are asked to fill in where the notes are missing on this page. On page 32, the first pan we'll be featuring in the pan family is the tenor pan. So this is also a coloring exercise. Let the children color the characters and the pan, and it shows the note range of the tenor pan and how it looks on the staff. So on page 33 we introduce the fourth and fifth tenor, and we talk about who invented it, Mr. Anthony Williams, and the pattern that is on the instrument itself. The instrument itself is has a very planned layout. If we use the example of C, the fourth note in the C major scale would be on the left, and the fifth note of the C major scale would be on the right of that C note. So for each note on this pan, that statement would be true. So as you can see, it's very planned. On the next page, page 34, we have an activity which asks the students to use the information that they just read about and come up with scenarios for how it began and an inventor. This activity is integrating music education and drama. So we use the pan history pages in the book to come up with skits for a topic called How It Began and another topic called An Inventor. And there's also a picture for the children to color. Page 35, and this is the pan history, and page 36 is also pan history. So we use these pages for the previous activity. After the pan history pages, we have a page on the pan family. The pan family, which consists of all instruments in a steel orchestra, which we would have the 6 bass, we'd have the 4 bass, we'd have the 3 cello, the double seconds, the double tenor, the double guitar, and of course the tenor that we just spoke about. On the page opposite that, we would have a music test, and that follows onto the last page. This would gauge how much the children understood from this book and if they are ready for the next book. So this was Asia Richardson going through the Show Me the World Music Workbook. You can reach me by my email asia.richardson75@gmail.com.
You can contact me at 323-1352 or email me at rosapay@live.com.
Alright, so that's it. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. We will have more books and more videos for you in the near future. We will also have more products coming out soon.